YouTube, chicks. Get ready. You know what to do, chicks.
I find him. You know, I like Chick Smooth. Chick Smooth is somebody I really enjoy listening to on YouTube because Chick just got an intellectual curiosity about things.
Hey man, we are not going to rewrite the rules of battle rapping and hip hop. Just as the saying goes, you guys, if you cannot handle the heat, stay out of the kitchen. Now, we are currently on day 5 and we're still getting a lot of responses from rappers regarding Jay-Z's comments about battle rapping and hip hop. Now, even though Jay was speaking more so towards the stance on both sides, so far, everybody that's come out has pretty much said Jay-Z is out of his mind. You of all people cannot come out in 2026 to say people are going too far anytime two of the top artists battle rap. You said some of the most disrespectful things to Nas when you guys were going at each other. Now, fans have started to take notice that most people in support of Jay-Z's comments were also in support of Drake when he was going at Kendrick. So of course they're going to try to enforce rules in battle rap. Now, Jim Jones is one of those people that were supporting Drake during the battle.
If he was suing Kendrick Lamar for defamation of character directly, the hip-hop game should be in a uproar. He's suing UMG, bro.
It's coming from a rap beef.
You think about this shit wrong. You think about a bag or you think about a rap beef that's imaginary to the people. These guys are playing on the highest level of entertainment.
As you guys know, Drake has shown him and Dipset a whole lot of love. He actually brought them out to perform at one of his New York shows. Now, today on the newest podcast episode of Let's Rap About It, Jim Jones had a very controversial take. Here's what he said.
Saying when as it pertains to Kendrick and Drake, how fans really get so invested. So it's like the people that like Kendrick really, really hate Drake, right? So people run to their corners and really be invested in the actual war. Like, oh, you're playing Drake, turn that shit off. And dudes get into...
Or even how it surrounds to the people around you or your family or like, you know what I mean, your kids. People be putting wives and kids in raps and put them in different situations. Those things didn't used to happen in the battles and beefs before.
I'm not a fan.
You're not a fan of what?
I'm not a fan of using people's wives or kids to engage. I mean, even though there's no rules, but that's like that shows a lot about your character as a man. Like to me, you're not really that tough. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's very interesting. That's very interesting because I seen people critiquing Hove for saying that when he was the one that kind of took it to a place with Nas that people said, oh, he took it too far.
Yeah, but like I said, there's no rules when you're trying to get the edge in the war. Like
I personally didn't think that was too far.
At that time, I didn't think it was that too far. But when I'm thinking about it now and shit like that, like it's kind of weak. Like you including people that really. You know what I mean?
I also think Hove perspective is also in hindsight. Like he's saying it now as a different. Evolved man in life. You know what I'm saying? So you're looking at all that stuff. You got a different kind of like you looking at it like your kid, like he don't want his kids in raps and all of that. But like you said, when at the time where he was engaging and he was 20 or 30 years old, you're not thinking in that same light. You thinking at a different light as an older man with businesses and you got stuff you thinking, more maturely and don't see why somebody would put somebody's family in something. But when you're young, you say whatever.
Everybody's a target, 100%.
So that's why I think like that perspective is kind of coming from him and where he's at and where he's evolved in life now. Versus
even when I was young though, I want to smoke with you. I want to smoke with you. Like I don't got time to think about no elaborate ways to use everybody else to like nigga. I want you. You. What's up? What we doing? What we talking about?
So to bring it back, right? Do you think he's right when you say that, maybe hip hop should kind of diminish the battle?
I wouldn't say necessarily. Hip hop is built on competition, so I wouldn't say that answer is necessarily right or that answer is necessarily wrong. You dig? Because I believe that battling is a part of what built this whole hip hop culture. No, we could go all the way back to the beginning of time. It was always that. Even from breakdancing, it was crews battling.
Always competitive.
It was always competitive. So if we take that competitive nature out, then what do we have?
But the thin line is the fact that things go too far. Smoking on dead ops.
Yeah, especially in this era. And they got the platform to advertise it, to make videos about it.
But that's
go live and talk about people.
That's this era. Who are we to dictate what they're doing in this era when we was talking bad about people that was trying to dictate our era for talking about what we were doing when we were gang banging and doing all this. Is the same thing. So they got to go through what they got to go through. Maybe that's the way the shit is moving now. We're not necessarily directly in that right now.
But as the OGs, you still should not want them to have to go through the same things you went through. We've seen people die. We've seen legends die because of
100%
East Coast, West Coast beef or rap lyrics 100%. Going too far. So, like, that's the difference in what he's saying too, is that battling, if it's staying on wax and we just going at each other and that's one thing. That's battling. That's hip hop. That's rap. But when it goes outside of that, where people are getting stabbed up, people are smoking on ops, and like it's that's not hip hop really anymore. That's a whole different culture.
Let's talk about this from say the person that's talking about it has done a lot of these things that he's telling people that we wish that
not to do.
100%.
That's why I say he's saying that from an evolved place.
Right.
When he was younger, he wouldn't have said that. But like now, as he's looking as the OG,
and that's what I'm saying. A lot of times we gotta let people live their life. Also, like we can't impose our will because we know it. Oh yeah, we could tell them to give them.
But I don't think it's imposing a will. It's more of his perspective, and I think sometimes, yeah, you do gotta let people live their life. But I don't think it's nothing wrong with putting things out there
100%.
for people to pick up on, so they don't have to learn the hard way.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So, because we are in an era where we seeing kids dying at the same time they going back and forth on records and YouTube and on social media. We all seeing this.
Okay, you know what I mean? We were seeing that when we were young too.
But it wasn't really on records though. It wasn't between rappers.
That is true.
It wasn't a rapper thing.
That is true.
Right? It wasn't people making records, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't
so visible.
Right. So now it's in our faces, like, you know, our kids could open up social media and see that these two artists been going back and forth with each other for 2 years, and then somebody just got killed. Right? So we watching it in real time as opposed to, you know, the street wars and the drug wars that we was going through. Nobody in Florida knew what we was going through unless they knew us.
Now it's on the internet.
It's a situation.
For everybody to see.
I believe like as long as just what he giving people advice, there's no wrong in that, and I believe that letting people live is no wrong in that either.
I did see a lot of like people having opinions on it, you know, but you know,
how you feel about it?
The line has been blurred between what is a legitimate battle and what is beefing. I don't know where that is, because if you bringing up street stuff, you bringing up personal things, you bringing up things that may be deemed a strike at my character. Now I'm thinking that we need to take it up another level, because now it's not just regular. We saying things that are maybe aimed at our characters or to discredit each other.
But that also was part of battling as well. So like even like say like the URLs or any of those battle leagues, they talk to each other crazy. None of them afterward are going to shoot each other up. It's just part of the battle. So that's what I'm saying. Like the street culture mixed in with that. That's why that's another thing. That's not really hip hop. URL is hip hop. They could battle and walk away from it. At the end of it, they actually shake each other's hand, dap up. But they during the battle, they really are talking to each other as disrespectful as they can. They talking about their families, their girlfriends.
That's a good example.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just what it becomes when it goes outside of just battling. You know what I'm saying? About just rapping.
I think that's more because that's a league.